guys, what's today? Tuesday. I am cooking and I wasn't going to do a video, but I'm doing one of those whatever's in the refrigerator and cupboards and pantry dinners because I forgot to take meat out of the freezer. And I didn't know what to cook. It's raining outside. You guys, all of this is clean. Don't judge. All of that's clean. I just don't put my dishes up. I'm going to use them the next day anyway. So I leave them all there. My body's on fire. It's been raining all day. It's supposed to rain really, really bad tomorrow. My hips and my waist are on fire. But I refuse to sit and be all pitiful. I'm over it, okay? Right now, I am roasting some potatoes that I cubed into little cubes. Again, I went through my cupboards. I went through the freezer. What was the fastest thing that I could defrost? The only thing that was really fast that I could defrost were these chicken fajitas. And I always have these on hand for little dudes' quesadillas. And I had a bag of the chicken fajitas and then a bag of the grilled fajitas. Half a bag of each. So I just combined them. I've chopped them up into little cubes. I'm going to mix them in with the potatoes, with some onions and tomato. I'm going to do a can of Campbell's cream of chicken. I have a couple of things from a little garden that I'm going to put in there. And then randomly spice it. And we're going to see what comes out. And then I'm just going to top it off with some cheese and let it skillet melt. And we'll see what it does. We have pizza left over from yesterday. We ordered pizza yesterday. So we could watch both Monday Night Raw and the game. Monday Night Raw because my son got really, really good seats. And I wanted to see if I could see him, on TV. Right there by where the wrestlers come down. I didn't. But I was swapping back and forth from that to the game. So we ordered pizza, and there are a few slices left that little dude said he wants for dinner. I asked him if he wanted a quesadilla, and he's like, no, he wants leftover pizza. So, okay. So he's going to give me some experiment time. Like I said, I've never made a potato chicken, whatever this is going to be. I thought about just making potatoes and chicken and wrap it in tortillas like for burritos, but we eat so many burritos and tacos up in this house. So I'm just like, let's do some kind of bake without baking. I was going to do just the seasoned fajitas, spice them up, and then top them on top of a baked potato because I found a recipe on Pinterest or something like that. It looked really good, but I didn't want to turn the oven on. The house is comfortable. I didn't want to turn the oven on and heat the house up. But I got the potatoes on, so let me show you what I got going on this end. So here are the taters. I just did a little oil in there. I've had them on a while. I cut them small. I want a little bit of toast to them, but I don't want them like crunchy or crispy. I just want them like crispy on the outside and still squishy. There's the can of cream of chicken. I cut up one Roma tomato and the tiniest bit of onion that I had left over in the refrigerator. Here is the chicken combo. I've cut them in little chunks. They're still kind of defrosting. I'm going to run them under the water just a little bit because I don't want it to release too much water in there and make it soupy. I'm not trying to make a soup. I think I'm going to use some chili powder. I love the gourmet beer can chicken seasoning. Some garlic powder because I don't feel like crushing raw garlic. Comino. I don't know about the comino. It's going to give it a Spanish vibe, but I'm using chili powder, so maybe we'll see. Like I said, this is an experiment. I'm going to add a package of the Sazon Goya. This is the azafran one, the saffron one. You know what? I think if I use this, I won't use the comino. I don't know. You know what? Let's just go for it. I'm going to do some black pepper. At the end, I will salt it. And then from my Guardian, because these are the only two that are left, this little red gypsy and this little green gypsy. I had another green one, but I think either the bats, we have bats, guys. Either one of the bats came and took it, or the raccoon, not the raccoon, the possum we have around here. Well, we have a raccoon too. Somebody stole one of my peppers. So I'm going to chop these up, mix it in here, and we're going to toss these into the potatoes in just a little bit. Okay, so they're getting a little toast on them like I wanted. I'm going to let them go just a little bit longer to get a few more of these papitas. Get a few more of them with a toast on them. So I'm going to cut up my two little gypsies. It has a little sploochy right here. I'm hoping that wasn't the entrance to some creepy critter. But no, looks perfectly lovely. Okay, do y'all see what's going on in there? Are those buggies? Is that something disgusting that I should be worried about? Okay, this is suspect. Guess what? No peppers. No peppers in my chicken. Okay, I disinfected my cutting board. I'm going to go ahead and use the little red one because the red one doesn't seem to have any critter issues. I'm just going to dice the snot out of it because I want to use it. It grew, you know. Yeah, I think bugs got into the other one. And I should have suspected, I didn't think they had gotten in it, but there were a lot of little bugs flying around it. And like really close to the little stem when I pulled it. So I guess they found a way in. This one, however, has no little critters in it. It smells delicious. You saw how tiny it was. It smells so nice. Okay, ooh, the booty. Get out of there. It smells really nice. A little bit of flavor. We'll add that to our onion and tomato concoction. Okay, now let's check these potatoes. Okay. These are looking lovely. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add my onion, tomato, and that little chili to it. This is kind of cleaning out the fridge before you buy anything new going on. I had just the tiniest bit of onion left. That particular tomato was the softest of the three that I have. So I figured let's use it. Okay. So now we're going to start seasoning. I'm going to start off with the pepper. A little bit of cumin. Okay. Some chili powder for a little zest, a little something something. Okay, not a lot. Gonna do my beer can chicken seasoning. Now, here is where the debate comes in because I'm gonna use the sazon Goya. Do I want the flavors to conflict, and do I need to worry about too much salt in either? Which do I, you know what? We're going to go with the sazon Goya. Only because I have tomatoes and I'm having kind of a Latino flair happening here with this. And they were chicken fajitas. So we're going to put in the sazon Goya and a little bit of garlic powder. Okay? Give all that a stir, and hopefully that little packet isn't going to salt the snot out of this. Hope I didn't just cause a disaster. So we're going to let that go for a while till the veggies cook down some. Now I'm going to mix my sauces together. So for the sauce, all I'm doing is doing a can of cream of chicken. And I forgot to tell you guys, we're going to use some sour cream. This is basically the base for my sour cream chicken enchilada sauce, which I feel comfortable with. But I'm just hoping that I am not going to end up making a super duper salty mess. But all I do, just like for my enchiladas, is I mix the soup with the sour cream. Just a smidgen of water or milk. Add a sploosh of milk. So I'm going to finish mixing this to let those taters cook and crisp up just a little bit. And then, cross our fingers, we'll add in the fajitas. So now I'm going to add this chicken. Made sure it was defrosted. It smells good. potatoes aren't soft enough for me to taste yet, but it smells good. And I don't know, guys. It looks kind of appetizing before I put the sauce in. Okay, so let me go ahead and dollop in some of this sauce while I can still work the potatoes, because the potatoes still have a little bit of firmness in them where I don't have to worry about making mashed potatoes. So let me stir this up. Dang, this gonna make a whole lot. I like this. Okay, it looks okay. A little one more little dollop. One more little dollop. And then I'm gonna leave it be. I'm gonna let it sit and do its thing. Sorry about the tapping, guys. I think that might work on some of y'all's nerves. Sorry. I think I'm gonna add the smallest bit of water. Just a little. Just to give it some steam. And then I'll stir that one last time before I sprinkle cheese on top. Okay, let's sit and chit-chat a while. You might hear Mrs. Roper in the background. I'm watching Three's Company. I love that show. Do y'all know there's a whole channel or page on Facebook dedicated to Mrs. Roper? It's Mrs. Roper something. I don't know if it's people who dress like her or people who just love her. Y'all hear me joke around sometimes when I buy muumuus and nightgowns and stuff that I'm pulling a Mrs. Roper. But yeah, I don't know how I came across that on Facebook today. But yeah, there's a whole Mrs. Roper something group. But anyway, if you hear noise in the background, it's the TV. I had to sit. I'm going to let that simmer. I try to keep myself busy today without being busy the way I am, because I'm so hard-headed. Whether I'm in pain or not, I'm stuck in this friggin' house and it was raining. So I know me, I'll end up in a closet. I'll end up in doing something that my back ain't got no business doing. So I decided to bite the bullet and start working on my spider legs for my costume. I'd about given up on them because everything I tried with them would fix one thing and damage another. It was a mess. But I finally just said, girl, try what you've been thinking about trying to get the shape back for them. I think I made them too early and I kind of had them here and there and they kind of unshaped. But I finally went ahead and tried the electrical tape thing that I had told myself was going to be the last thing I did for these friggin' legs, short of a quick respray paint. And it worked. It's close enough to Friday that if I leave them alone, hopefully it'll hold the shape. But I think I taped them up pretty darn tight. Y'all want to see what I'm talking about? Y'all want to preview? I'm still putting together the Halloween video. And if my body feels better this week before Boo Bash on Friday, you'll get to see the whole costume together. I was playing around with it yesterday. Decided not to do this and do this instead. I had a headpiece that was going to be around the back that I decided to make a tilted chapeau, because the inspiration dress, the inspiration photo that I have, she's not wearing a hat per se. Well, it's not a web, but she has a little tilted feather thing happening. And I'm like, dummy, instead of struggling trying to hold this friggin' thing in the back of your head because my hair is so thin, why not try and make a hat out of it? And it worked. It friggin' worked. I'm like, oh, I love it. And then I was worried about my glasses kind of throwing off the costume. You're trying to be something scary, and then you have these glasses and you look like a little library, a little librarian, like a good little person. So I'm like, how am I going to make my glasses spooky? But I came up with a solution. Like I said, I had this one image of my costume, and then I just kind of repurposed all the little bits and pieces into something that's going to work. So one of the things that I had was a little shawl, spiderweb shawl, and I ended up kind of putting that over my face, kind of like a mask, and that's going to take care of the glasses. So all I have to do now is draw some fangs and do some either purple and black or black and red lipstick. I'm not sure, but it'll cover the glasses, because it was giving school teacher vibes, and I just wasn't feeling it. But it's loose enough and see-through enough that I can see. So it's all working, and I don't want to give away too much because it's going to be a whole different video. But if you guys are my friends on Facebook, you've been seeing the little snippets of things that I've been putting on there. But if you guys aren't my friends on Facebook and I'm talking so much about it right now, let me just go ahead and give you a preview of the legs. Now, they still need to be respray painted. The entire thing needs to be respray painted. But I can also show you the little chapeau that I created yesterday. I want to figure out how to make these stand out a little better. They did initially before I strapped them on here a certain way. They were actually sticking out, but when I strapped them for security, they kind of drooped. But if it gets too late in the week, I'm just going to leave them as is. I mean, you can tell what they are, right? Whew, I need to sit. So yeah, I'm excited. We're getting excited. Little dude's costume has forever been done. It's supposed to stop raining by Friday and Saturday, which is good because we have our Halloween festivals and stuff going on that weekend. I was gonna try and go all out with the decor at the house and spook it all out, but between my body and just the timing of it all, it's not gonna happen. But I am going to just do some minimal decorating just to give it a little Halloween feel here in the dining room. And I'm gonna have some food on crock pot. That way when we come back from Scare on the Square here in the town over, we'll come back nice and hungry on Saturday night, and there'll be a little bit of decor, and then the crock pots would have been going and we can eat hot food. Because I was like, if I can't do both, it's going to be one or the other. I can't have a Halloween party and still partake in the Scare on the Square. And we really had fun at Scare on the Square. It's a town over, and they're downtown. They spook it out. They have trunk or treat, and people really just go all out with the costumes and all. It's just really fun. It was really fun. We only went for the first time last year, and we're going to go again this year. It was really fun. So yeah, after that, we'll be able to come home and have some sweets and some salty, and if the weather permits and we're not too tired, little dude really wants me to light the fire pit. He's been wanting to have a fire pit with our friends since we had the outside. Did I tell y'all about that? Since we had the outside movies, I took a TV outside because I didn't want to put up the projector, and we watched Chucky. We were supposed to watch Halloween and Chucky, but it got really cold that day. But that day, I thought we were going to have the fire pit. I'm like, well, maybe it got too cold. So hopefully, weather permitting, he really wants to be out there with our friends with the fire pit. Maybe I can buy some stuff for s'mores. I have a few days for the stuff I'm going to buy. I'm going to keep it simple. I always tend to go overboard with the food, and I always end up having stuff left over. It's just, I'm going to keep it simple. I need to just keep it simple. I might do some meatballs in sauce, some of those little smoky links. I want to make like a potato salad. You know, just some little noshings. Of course, I need hot dogs for the boys, and y'all know for my boy. Their son has a regular appetite, so he will partake probably of anything that I might make that day. But I'm looking forward to it. I wish my body weren't scaring me into, oh my gosh, what kind of condition are you going to be in? But I'm looking forward to it. But is that all I've been up to today? Yeah, went outside. Oh, yesterday I planted pumpkin seeds. We carved a jack-o'-lantern the other day. I was gonna roast the seeds, but I left them soaking too long, and I ain't gonna roast no 2-day-old seed. So I ended up just drying them and randomly poked them in some soil along that fence line, the new fence that they pulled down. I also played around with the wisteria. I thought they had killed the wisteria completely off, but man, I didn't realize wisteria were so aggressive. The wisteria have started growing back, so I kind of gave them a little trellis. If it's not raining, let's go have a breath of fresh air, shall we? It has stopped raining. I'm out here looking crazy. Y'all saw what I'm wearing. Don't nothing even match. But It is really wet out here. We have clay soil, so I have to be really careful that I'm not going to slip and slide. But I don't know if y'all are interested. I want to show you what I'm talking about in regards to these plants. So between this flower and that flower, I planted pumpkin seeds. Oh, it's still sprinkling. I know that's not enough space for pumpkins, but if anything grows, it'll be awesome. If not, that's okay too. And here's the wisteria that came back. And I did trim up some trailers that were going that way because I don't want it to get too out of hand. And it was growing all along right here, and I chopped and cleaned all that up for the pumpkin patch. But this, I had this little trellis behind my squash, and my squash is not trellising, it's spreading. So I decided, let's go ahead and start getting this baby going because I love the wisteria. Very damaging. See, look over there. How it's growing over there, and it's already starting to go in through the new fence. That's going to damage the fence, but that's not my property. That's not my side of the fence, so I can't do nothing about that. But this one, I'm hoping I can keep it controlled on a trellis. I may buy a few more at the Dollar Tree just to line up along here. That way it won't touch the new fence. How's my zucchinis? Let's check on the zucchinis while we're out here. The zucchinis are doing their zucchini thing. Yes, they are. Oh, look at, y'all see that one? That one's growing really good. Ow, I think I stepped in ants. So I have 1, 2, 3, and quite a few more flower buds are growing. They're little girls, finally. Man, I hadn't had any little, y'all see that one right there? I hadn't had any little girls in forever. And here's my yellow squash, my gooseneck. It's doing well since I planted it in the ground. It's spreading out a little. It doesn't have any flowers yet. But that's okay. That's okay. Let me go back in and check on this food. There's a Mexican petunia growing wild. I've had to trim this sucker 2 or 3 times already. I have 2 new transplants that are going to be ready to replant in the spring. I just have to find a good spot for them because they grow wild. And then just yesterday morning I cut off 3 more branches from it that I'm soaking inside to root for a 3rd transplant. I told little dude jack-o'-lanterns are not a good idea. I told him let's stick to our fake ones. But he really wanted to do a jack-o'-lantern. And this is what happens. Usually we get snails in them. But I forgot about the fuzzy mold. Ooh, it smells really good in here. Let's check it out. Ooh. Please don't be stuck to the bottom because I don't want to stir you too much. Nope. Let's give it a stir. See if these taters are still in tater condition. Let me test one, see if they're cooked through. I don't want to manhandle it too much. What do y'all think, guys? It smells really good. Let's grab a tater. Let's test a tater. Mmm. Nummy. The tater's got all the seasoning in it. Now I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of cheese on top. Put the skillet on. Turn the heat down. And it's dinner time. A little Colby Jack. Okay. Cover that up. Let it melt. Turn the heat off. There we go. Okay. Yeah, this rain is wreaking so much havoc on my poor body. I just hope I'm okay by Friday or Saturday. You know what? No, you know what? I hope I'm super okay by actual Halloween. Because little dude still tricks or treats, okay? He does. He's 14 years old and he still tricks or treats. And I don't care. I am not one of those people who will ever tell a child, a young person. I won't tell anybody, not even adults, you're too old to trick or treat. Look, if you're taking the time and effort to put together a costume and look forward to going trick-or-treating and go up, to people's houses for candy. I don't care if you're 3 or 33. Halloween doesn't necessarily have to be for kids. It started off that way. But if you have that Halloween spirit and you just think it's fun, and you happen to be over 10 years old, or you happen to be an adult and you want a piece of candy, if you were handing out candy, give them a friggin' piece of candy, okay? I mean, I don't know what the big deal is, especially with teenagers. I don't understand what the big deal is. I'd rather have a group of kids dressed up tricks or treating than a group of kids walking around in the middle of the night where you expect people to be walking around, breaking into cars, spray painting fences, just wreaking havoc. Like, don't rush kids to be grown. And I hear that a lot when we go trick-or-treating. You're too old to be trick-or-treating. Okay, but this will be the last year. And I'm just like, first of all, mind your business. If you're going to give out candy, don't be that. Don't be a Halloween Grinch. Don't be a Halloween Grinch. Especially if they dress up. Now, I can kind of see if you have a bunch of people that just go up to you with a Walmart bag, not even dressed up. Come on, that's not the spirit of the holiday, I could kind of see a person who likes Halloween enough to give out candy to be like, you don't deserve no piece of candy. I'd still give them one, I'm not going to lie. But if you have teens, adults, because you never know about adults either. Adults may be special needs, okay? Adults may be special needs and their mentality is of a younger person or of a child. Just give them candy. I don't care who comes up to your door. If they say trick or treat and they're respectful and they're nice, give them a friggin' Reese's peanut butter cup. Let the Snickers loose, okay? But anyway, I went off all on that to say that I hope to heck I am okay for Halloween. Even though it makes me nervous. Like, Halloween night makes me nervous. A couple reasons. I'm scared of the dark. But I have night blindness. I can't see at night. I can only see what's in front of me. I have no peripheral vision. I have to literally turn my head left to right, which is why I don't like to drive at night, because you have to have a good line of sight. I have no business driving at night. I have no business walking at night, okay? So when we go trick-or-treating, I'm scared of the dark. And people tend to sneak up on you because it's crowded. People are on the street and they tend to sneak up. So I'm like really on edge when we go trick-or-treating. And I always lose my car, guys. We've been going to the same subdivision for a few years now. It's amazing. I'm going to take y'all with me this year if I haven't done it before. That neighborhood goes all out. It's amazing. There's adults just in such a spirit and stuff. They don't tell nobody you're told for trick-or-treating. But anywho, I keep losing my car. I've done it every year for the last 4 years. I lose my car. So I have started taking pictures or writing down the street name. That didn't even help, okay? If it weren't for me happening upon a friend's house last Halloween, I would have had my car lost again. But she happened to be able to guide me up the road and point to where my car was, and then I could see my car. But it was funny. I lose my car every time. Little do things, it's hilarious. I don't. But anywho, I know you guys just saw me, but y'all know I like y'all in here in the kitchen with me. And hopefully this video goes through better than the Hotel Hell first one, because I had put it up and I knew some of you guys had already watched it, and there was actually a few comments under it. And then when I went to go in to read the comments, it said video has been deleted. But it was around the same time that the AT&T people were out there messing around with the wires. Turns out my neighbors next door digging up their property to plant flowers busted my cable and their cable. So we both had to have technicians come out, and my understanding based on the technician that came out, they are going to have to pay for the damage. They're going to be billed for the damage. Anytime before you dig, if you do any digging, most people know or understand the rule is look. Be sure you know where there's power lines, gas lines, stuff like that. What's wrong with people just digging up stuff? So yeah, they broke our fiber cable. And yeah, my understanding is they're going to be billed for it. Okay, I didn't want to be copyright struck because the Jefferson's theme was in the back. You see that? See this plant right here? Those are the clippings of the Mexican petunia that I'm going to root and create a new pot for. But anywho, let's check out this skillet. Uno, dos, tres. Ew. So cheesy and delicious. Yummy. So that is that. Dinner is ready. I'm going to go ahead and serve it up. Get these dudes fed. Look at the chaos that all those little coffee signs created. Remember I pulled all these from the Black Friday, and in my head I thought it was gonna look good, but it's just too much going on. And I know y'all are gonna be like, Mel, really? With all the knick-knackery and accoutrement you have going on in your house, that is too much going on? Yes, it is. I was used to not as much on that wall. But anywho, I digress. It is dinner time, so we're gonna nosh. Hopefully this little skillet hits all the right spots. But until my next go around, thank you guys for watching and hanging out with me again. And I'll see you soon. I love y'all bunches. Bye.